I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. In our last reading, we read about Josiah's move to repair the temple and their finding of the lost book. That inspires them that they send men to speak to Huldah, the prophetess, to know if what the lost book is. Is it true? Is it real scripture? Is this really going to happen? We are now going to turn to 2 Chronicles, chapter 34, which we will read the same basic story of the finding of the book. I also want to mention that this video does have a Joseph Smith translation in it. What the Joseph Smith translation is, this is an inspired translation or correction of the Bible done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that had been lost over the years. We pick this up in verse 8 and we will read through verse 22. Now in the 18th year of his reign, when he had purged the land and the house, he sent Shaphan, the son of Azaliah, and Maaseiah, the governor of the city, and Joah, the son of Joahaz, the recorder, to repair the house of the Lord his God. And when they came to Hilkiah, the high priest, they delivered the money that was brought into the house of the Lord, which the Levites that kept the doors had gathered at the hand of Manasseh and Ephraim, and of all the remnant of Israel, and of all Judah and Benjamin. And they returned to Jerusalem. And they put it in the hand of the workmen that had the oversight of the house of the Lord, and they gave it to the workmen that wrought in the house of the Lord to repair and amend the house. Even to the artificers and builders gave they it, to buy hewn stone and timber for couplings, and to floor the houses which the kings of Judah had destroyed. And the men did the work faithfully, and the overseers of them were Jahath and Obadiah, the Levites of the sons of Merari, and Zechariah and Meshullam of the sons of the Kohathites, to set it forward, and other of the Levites, all that could skill of instruments of music. Also they were over the bearers of burdens, and were overseers of all that wrought the work in any manner of service, and of the Levites there were scribes and officers and porters. So we're getting a little more information about who's doing the work, and who's donating the money. It says the money was Manasseh, Ephraim, Benjamin, and Judah. They went into the north a little bit, and they collected money for the repairs of the house. And they sent them to the temple. Now in Kings it just says, make a reckoning of the money that is being given. This is telling us who's giving it. It also tells us who's overseeing it. It's not just random carpenters. These are Levites. Because remember, only Levites have the authority to work on the temple. So it's a little more detailed. We get a lot more names. It's interesting, but not really significant knowledge there. So let us continue reading. Verse 14. And when they brought out the money that was brought into the house of the Lord, Hilkiah the priest found a book of the law of the Lord given by Moses. And Hilkiah answered and said to Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah delivered the book to Shaphan. And Shaphan carried the book to the king, and brought the king word back again, saying, All that was committed to thy servants, they do it. And they have gathered together the money that was found in the house of the Lord, and have delivered it into the hand of the overseers, and to the hand of the workmen. Then Shaphan the scribe told the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest hath given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. And it came to pass, when the king had heard the words of the law, that he rent his clothes. And the king commanded Hilkiah, and Ahikam the son of Shaphan, and Abdon the son of Micah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Azariah, a servant of the king's, saying, Go, inquire of the Lord for me, and for them that are left in Israel and in Judah, concerning the words of the book that is found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is poured out upon us, because our fathers have not kept the word of the Lord to do after all that is written in this book. And Hilkiah and they that the king had appointed went to Huldah, the prophetess, the wife of Shallum, the son of Tikvah, the son of Hasrah, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college, and they spake to her to that effect. Different names again, but same basic story. Now I do want to say, I think I forgot to mention this, the college is a geographical region of Jerusalem. So you have the college and you have the second quarter. But once again, and they also mention this is a book of Moses that they found, which gives further credence to the theory that it is the book of Deuteronomy. Now, we do have 5 books of Moses. We don't know which one it was, but it was one that talked about the blessings and cursings of Israel, so likely it was Deuteronomy. Although, just to be fair, there is always the possibility that it's a 6th book of Moses that has since been lost again. It is also possible that it was Numbers, which also contains some of the blessings and cursings. And it may also be the book of Leviticus. All of them are possible. But Deuteronomy is the most likely candidate, and I would personally say that it was likely. It was most likely Deuteronomy. Now, there is one last thing that I wanted to mention, and that is, it does seem that the southern portion of the northern kingdom has kind of fallen under the control of Judah. Because he's going into Ephraim and Manasseh, and then it says here that the remnant, how did it put that again? Let me see. Inquire of the Lord for me, for them that are left in Israel and in Judah. So there's a remnant in Israel, and it seems that they are loyal to Judah, that they have kind of returned to Judah, the southern portion of it, which is why he likely felt he could go up into the north and destroy the idols earlier. That's an interesting little note there. And there is this one last thing. There is a Joseph Smith translation in verse 16. And Shaphan carried the book to the king and brought the king word back again. So it's a little awkward wording. He brought the word to the king. But what is he bringing back? Joseph Smith translation clarifies. And Shaphan carried the book to the king and brought the word of the king back again, saying, all that was committed to thy servants they do. So in other words, he's a messenger between the two. He's going between the king and the high priest. And that's what this is indicating. Very simple correction, just kind of a clarification, not significant in meaning. Let us leave that here, and we will read the rest of this story in our next video. So, see you there.